Welcome back. I need to start singing more along with the song. Like,
Yeah.
welcome back. Welcome back to the daily grind. Welcome back to the daily grind. We're working on it. It
Yeah.
is Thursday, and I've got Drew with me again, Uncle Buck himself. Thank you again for joining me twice this week. It's the best week ever. How are you, good brother? How are you on this Thursday?
Man, I'm good. It's beautiful outside. I've
Hell
got
yeah,
one
it
of
is.
those jobs to where like if it's rainy and nasty outside, I can work inside, but if it's beautiful like it is today, I'm outside. So I've just been
Yes.
getting some windshield time, just hanging out, man, having a good day, enjoying the best time of the year. The best time of the
Yes.
year. Sunday,
March Madness.
uh daylight savings time. I'm talking about I've got 2 hours of sunlight after I get home from work, which is just the best.
No, you're being practical. Sorry, that was the right answer. It's the best
Yeah.
time. Having sun until 7 or 8 o'clock is
Oh,
chef's kiss.
perfect. Right.
And it makes for these stupid. We've not had any of them lately, but these stupid West Coast games that start at 10 that we're gonna
Oh, yeah.
have coming up. It makes those a little bit easier to watch.
Oh,
But
no
these
doubt.
other games, I like these 7 o'clock games. Did you tune into either of them?
I watched a little bit of both. I think is the best way to put it. I watched more
Yeah.
of the Wizards game, which
Yes.
was the one to watch if you're going to pick one, I guess. And so,
Yes.
yeah, I watched a little of both of them. I'll be honest with you. I mean, we've got what 16, 15, 16, 17 games left. I'm kind of
Yeah.
watching the standings more than I'm watching the games right now, just
Mm.
keeping up with scores and uh but I am keeping up with it because like you said, we've got some development to watch. We've got young players to watch and you know, I can always find something
Yes.
to
I mean,
to
I think
right.
yeah. I mean, and in both games, like I think it's clear that they're giving the keys to Gigi. It's like they're
Right.
using these games to develop him. I mean, he had against the Wizards, he was 19-2-1, and then against the Hornets, he was 26-4. Like
Right.
he's doing everything. He's getting his own shot. He's the bucket getter that we're gonna need off the bench when he's finally in the
Right.
right spot he's gonna be, I think. And he's showing some like leaps and bounds of growth on defense, I
Right.
think.
Yeah.
A lot of people have
Fair.
been talking about this on the broadcast, but like I'm sure you've seen it too. Like just the better defensive play we've seen out of him in these two games.
Yeah. He's one of those guys. He's got the frame, and anybody. It takes a lot of work to be great in the NBA, but you know, I am roughly 5'5.5". It didn't matter how hard I was going to work. I wasn't going to make it to the NBA, and so he is. You have to start with a good frame, and I think that's what NBA teams look for. And he
Yes,
starts, I mean, with the greatest prototypical frame that you can build a wing on.
like
And
a
so
build a
and
bear.
right, he is. You start with the best Build-A-Bear you can get, and then you just try
That's
to
right.
cram as much knowledge and skill and technique in there as you can. And
Yep.
so what's encouraging to me about Gigi in particular is that a lot of times with these young players, we've talked about on our show and I'm sure on this show about how young he is and how
Yes.
he was as young as Jaren Jackson Jr. was, if not younger, coming out of the draft. He reclassified. He skipped his senior year in high school, really flamed out in 1 year of college, and before you know it, he's a professional. And
It's
so what
crazy.
I've liked to see the the outcome that is, I think, best for him this year is that they've just thrown him to the fire.
Yeah.
Jaron played on a lot of really competitive teams early on, and he took his lumps in big games. And you saw it. We just played a back-to-back against Charlotte and against Washington, and you saw 2 games he got heavy minutes. One game he was really good, and the other
Yes.
game he was really not good. And so just I was this is it's gonna make sense in a minute. But I was listening to I'm a former musician, okay?
Oh,
Used to play in
nice. I didn't know that.
some bands and stuff, and we used to write some music, and I was listening to an interview with Ed Sheeran, who is one of the greatest songwriters of our time. He's a
Yeah.
real guilty pleasure of mine. I love Ed Sheeran.
He's awesome. The dude can
Yeah.
write a song.
And so he said learning to songwrite is like washing mud down a sink. It's like the sink is just filled with mud. and you just got to keep running water through it until all the mud gets out of the way. And I feel like that's what they're doing with Gigi right now. Is they're hey, just get it out of your system, brother.
Yeah, man, that's a good way to put it, because it's you see a lot of teams that I don't want to say it's case in point, the Detroit Pistons earlier this year. They're hesitant. Yeah. They're hesitant to to even let these guys get dirty in the first place, get muddy in the first place, and I love that analogy. Like just letting Gigi get in there and just douse, like getting him dirty and just letting all the crap wash off.
Well,
because no, go ahead.
Yeah, that shows good camaraderie between the front office and the coach too. Because the problem in Detroit is that coach there wants to win, and it's the same thing, that Tibbs had a problem with in Chicago, and every stop he's made is he don't want to play young guys. He don't want them to figure it out. I want to play players that win. That's why he keeps bringing back Taj Gibson, like
who's still in the league.
Right, somehow. And so, Monty Williams did not want to let Jaden Ivey suck long enough to get good. And then finally, the front office, and it's the same thing that the Grizzlies front office has done before, is whatever pretty low ceiling veteran was in the way. In Detroit's case, it was the French guy,
Killian
Hayes. They just said, fine, if you won't quit playing him, we're trading him.
Deuces.
Yeah. And look at what happened. Jaden Ivey has been awesome.
He's awesome. I love Jaden Ivey.
Yeah.
But it's like and the Grizzlies were, rewind a few years, who was on this roster taking up a lot of shots, a lot of minutes? Grayson Allen. Got him out of the way for Desmond Bane. And then it's like, I love Grayson Allen's a hooper. Love that dude.
Right.
But like he had to go so Bane could become the guy. Yeah, it's a logjam. Right. We know, because we're a good organization. And I love that you.
Yeah. Go ahead.
Keep going. You made a really good point about the organization and the coach. I want you to keep going.
Well, it's just the same thing that happened with Rudy Gay. He was a star player, but getting rid of Rudy Gay allowed more shots for Mike and Mark and Zebo split his shots evenly between three really good players that know their role instead of one player that doesn't doesn't play team basketball. And it's same thing Dylan was crucified for in the playoffs last year.
2 years.
Yeah. 2
years. Don't just give him. Oh, whoa, balloons.
Whoa. Happy birthday, man.
Yeah, man. Happy birthday. That's how bad. That's when we talk about Dylan, balloons go off for some reason. I hate that. Now, out of these two games, I'm going to switch gears just a tiny bit because Jake LaRavia kind of came back down to earth last night.
Right.
After having another really solid game. I mean, he was 16, 4, 1, and 2, and against the Wizards. Do you think that do you see him? I mean, I don't see him. If we're going to talk about this in the next segment, as guys come back healthy, I don't know if his minutes stick around. No. I mean, he's certainly not, though playing better. You've got guys who are offering more, who bring more to the table consistently, i.e., shoot, I'll say Lamar Stevens. I'll even say GG. Right. You've got guys ahead of him at this point who bring more to the table. Do you think that he has any shot at keeping somewhere in this rotation, like sticking around? Any shot at all?
I think he does, and it's not because he deserves it, but like I said, they're trying to wash all that mud out the sink and see what it is at the end of the season. You're going to have, Pippen Jr. came back last night. You're going to have Desmond come back for a stint, but he's not going to play a lot of minutes. And so you got to think, so against Washington, you had no Lamar Stevens and no Vince Williams for injury. And of course, no Zaire playing the wing. And so maybe if all of them come back, then LaRavia doesn't play as much. But I don't see a scenario where he gets like 0 minutes the rest of the season. I think they're just going to continue just seeing what he's got.
I think you're right. I think we do need to realize, how many games are left. Because I'm getting ahead of myself. I'm like, oh yeah, Dez is coming back. We can make a run at this thing, and it's like hell no, that's not happening. It's like even if Dez comes back, when Dez comes back, I think you're right. They're still going to want to see what comes out in the wash, like what they got after they wash all this crap off.
Yeah, and if he comes back, the schedule's pretty hard the rest of March.
It's real hard, yeah.
Anyways, and so I don't think that Zach Kleiman wants them to win anyways. And if Desmond Bain comes back and gets his sea legs and he's playing at an all-star level, it's like, okay, he needs to play 15 minutes a night. Nurse that injury.
Yes,
but I mean,
yes.
You close out the month with Thunder at home, at Sacramento, at Golden State, at San Antonio, at Denver, Lakers at home, at Orlando. I mean, that's a hard schedule to close out the month.
80% of those teams are going to the playoffs, or at least the play-in.
Yeah. Everybody except for the Spurs and TBD on the Warriors, I guess, but they're playing better.
Yeah, so. Damn, March is going to be tough.
Yeah,
it's brutal. Going to be a brutal stretch of the rest of the month. On that downer, we're going to take a quick break, but when we get back, we're going to talk about good things. Good news for a change right after this semi-quick break.
It's not just the level of individual talent that he plays, but it's also the level of his mind. We haven't gotten cross-court open shot this year. Right. We haven't seen that pass a lot. Number one, you got to respect him going to the basket. There's a roller. I got to watch the roller. He has the mind to be able to say, I see all of that, and now I see this guy over here. I'm going to get him this open shot. How shifty he is to always be going forward. It's usually side to side.
Yeah.
His dribble moves are side to side, but going forward.
Right.
Which is very hard to defend. I just want to get you, as many times can I get you to do this? But for him, it's not here. It is here, which is are his moves to get down the floor. It's awkward for a defender to try to catch a cadence. You dribble. So now what I do is when you go put that ball down, I'm going for it. But with him, it's hard for my cadence. But what's my cadence for you? I don't know what it is.
Tune in to the Anthony Sane Show Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Who do you need to step it up? Outside of David Jones, I think David Jones is David Jones.
I don't think you need him to step it up because he's been performing.
Yeah, he's David Jones. Outside of him, he's fine.
I think Quinterly needs to play better.
In what way? He's facilitating the ball well. I don't.
2 at 12 from the field's not cutting it.
It's not great. It's not great.
And I don't need a runner 3 from the top of the key with 3.5 seconds left.
Is Virginia the game where Jordan Brown is going to cook? Those dudes aren't looking to run the ball.
Cook what? Dude, I thought he was going to have a freaking night. He came out with that fresh cut, lined up, and then literally within the first 15 seconds missed a wide open layup, and then picked up 2 fouls right away.
I feel real lied to because I thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy.
Didn't think it did anything for you.
Well, I think
we all thought we were getting a 20 and 10 guy. And we are getting that in David Jones.
I'm not even getting 20 or 10 minutes out of the guy.
Tune in to Tigers Untapped with TJ Willis and Trey Lasley every Wednesday at 3 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back, friends, family, loved ones, not friends, not family, not loved ones. If you're listening, welcome back. This is the Daily Grind. I've got Uncle Buck, that's one of my favorite people, one of my favorite movies. It's just like a great combo. We also got some great news this week. Classic Grizzlies stuff where people get just added the doubtful out of nowhere. I didn't expect it to be Scottie Pippen Jr. and I didn't expect them to already be playing, considering it was like a back thing. Because I know, back stuff's hard, and I know rushing that stuff, like rushing any sort of back issue, can be dangerous. And I was surprised. I'm just really surprised. And then his dad was at the game last night.
That was cool.
I'm very cool. I
wish I would have. That's one of the games I wish I would have been at and just what if you just accidentally bumped into Scottie Pippen? Just walking the concourse. Crap.
I probably would have had I don't know. I probably would have been a little starstruck. I probably would have asked him to play one-on-one or something.
And I'd pay to see that.
He would win. He would win. He would win. He would win. It was good to see him out
believe
there. I
in
mean,
you.
like, what are your thoughts on Scottie Pippen Jr.? I think that
I think
given the opportunity, given the keys, he could be our backup point guard.
Yeah, I mean, I think he's fine. I think he's definitely young. I think he's got skills. He's obviously got the pedigree. Anytime that you can pull from somebody that played alongside Michael Jordan and was, I mean, saying he played along Michael Jordan is probably being a little, it's probably an insult to what Scottie Pippen actually was. Like he was,
Yes.
yeah, he was a Hall of Famer. He just happened
Imperative
play
to those
beside Jordan.
championship
Yeah.
runs. Like, he
Right.
was imperative to those runs.
And so anytime you've got that kind of pedigree, that's like a Chris Wallace thing. He always loved who your parents were, And so I think he's fine on a two-way deal. I don't really know because you're going into next season and you're looking at Ja and Dez and Marcus Smart, and then you don't really have any other guards outside of. I mean, you still got Derrick Rose under contract, so maybe Derrick Rose. I don't know that's kind of a weird situation. I don't really know what he does next year, whether he comes back or retires.
I think you bring him back as like a mentor. I don't think that I think his body's done. It sucks. I just don't think it can go anymore.
But if you need the roster spot and you're convinced on Scottie Pippen Jr., that could be his role. What Derrick Rose was playing. So
yeah,
I think that's his role. I mean, I don't necessarily see like a superstar budding here, but I do see like a smaller Tyus Jones role out there for a backup point guard, someone like Scottie Pippen Jr.
Well, that's a good way to put it, like a smaller Tyus Jones role, because we found out in the playoffs you need a smaller Tyus Jones role. You don't need someone that demands as much. I mean, I loved Tyus. He was like, I would have kept him in Memphis forever, but
absolutely,
he needed the ball more. And in the playoffs, there's no place for a backup point guard in the playoffs. You don't play him that much.
Yeah, I mean, you're going Jaws playing 28 to 30 minutes a game to playing 36 to 38 minutes a game. Yeah, sometimes 40.
Sometimes 40.
And Tyus was one of those people, he really sat the table, but he wasn't like a spark plug off the bench, and you don't really need a floor general to come in for 10 minutes a game. Like it's not really a set the table kind of role when you're only playing
not anymore.
Minutes. Right.
Yeah, not unfortunately. The other news we got, and it was approximately 22 hours ago, they assigned Brandon Clark, and Yuta Watanabe, but that's not,
right.
Yep.
Please, let's spend the whole segment talking about Yuta.
Trust me, I could fill a whole show talking about Yuta. I didn't expect this. I didn't expect them to be, because they can be recalled to the Grizzlies following practice. So they've already been recalled up, which I don't know the rules, but does that mean they're eligible to play as early as Saturday?
I mean, I'm sure. I mean, they've been on the active roster the whole time. And so, they're one of the 15 and have been all season. And so, I would think they could play whenever they get ready. Somebody can correct me. I see Sean Coleman in the comments here. If he's the guy to ask, I guess he knows everything. And so, I mean, it wasn't really, it kind of jarred me because for the first time all season, Grizz PR notification came up and I didn't cry afterwards. Yeah. So I kind of expected it to come at some point because if you're a player, especially you're a player the caliber of Brandon Clark, and you've been out for over a calendar year, even though the season's lost, you want to play. That's what guys do. It's that they don't care about managing injuries. These guys just want to play, man. He's rehabbed for 12 months, and even though it's a lost season where you're trying to lose, lost contention wise, where you're trying to lose to spots, Brandon Clark just wants to play.
Yeah.
And I think that they are going to let him play.
I'm longing to see him back on the basketball court. I mean, it was the whole, it was like a free throw, man. Like when he tore his ace, the fact that we lost him in such a bummer way. And he's one of the most joyous people to watch play basketball. Like he just plays with such abandon and joy. And it was just really awesome to see out there. I hope he comes back.
It's just such a simple form of basketball too, because he is just a guy. He is just naturally blessed to have springs in his ankles. You know what I'm saying? And he is just a jumper. He's a hustle guy. And that's the guys that the Grizzlies fans love, and
Yep.
it's the glue that kind of holds everything together. It's the guys that are just there, not for stats, not for glory, but I mean, he's just there to play basketball, and he does it well. And so I hope, given the fact that he is such a leaper, I know we talked on our show because Buckets is a doctor of physical therapy. We kind of dissected it one time and talking about, like, you know, a leaper like Brandon Clark with a blown Achilles. What does it look like in the short term? I just want to see him get some run, man. I don't know if he'll be 100%, but I can promise you that getting his beak wet here at the end of a season in which you're not competing for anything, it can be, no harm can be done.
No. It's like my Papaw. He had an old 67 Mustang that he used to drive once a week. He used to go and take it, and he would drive it through town and drive it back, just to test drive it, just to get some miles on it. And it's like, that's what I don't want to see. I don't want him to go out there and push it because it's like you said, it's a lost season contention wise.
Right.
But he needs some minutes. He needs to play some NBA basketball.
Given the season that we've had with injuries and just the absolute debacle that it's been that way, what a perfect way to like jumpstart you into the 24-25 season. And if you can get, 10, 12, 15 games of Desmond and Brandon Clark just getting some run and looking like they're healthy, like that going into next season is just incalculable for like what it does for morale.
No doubt, man. Oh God, you did it. You got me excited. And we don't even play. We don't play till Saturday. And I'm like, I'm going to be looking at Grizz PR, just like, are we playing? Right. Who's playing?
Yeah.
Who's playing?
Yeah. I mean, typically the way Grizzlies PR works, and the Twitter account is not responsible for it, but the front office and the medical staff, you will go from doubtful, and you'll be doubtful for a game, then you'll be
play.
Questionable for a game, and you won't play. And then typically that third game is when you're going to play, if that's how they typically ramp up. Occasionally you'll get an extra questionable game, or I've even seen it before where they just skip the questionable altogether and just throw you out there. But typically you got a game of doubtful, a game of questionable, and then you're going to play.
Yeah. God, I love basketball.
So Saturday against Oklahoma City in Oklahoma City. Welcome back. You got to go try to swat Chet. Okay.
Yeah. Here's Chet. Good luck. Yeah. Good luck, BC. Hope your legs are okay.
Right. You're going to have to jump to block anything that guy's shooting.
Jesus. I don't want to talk about him. This isn't, we're going to leave him out of this. We're going to take a quick break. When we get back, we're going to play a new game that has only been played once on this show before. And Daniel Greer won, but I think you can beat his record. I think you can beat him. We're going to play It's a Trap right after this break.
I'm just big on being able to vocalize what someone's role is. I always thought my best coaches were the people that let me know exactly what you expect from me. Now, I might not like it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Right. But if you come to me man to man to say, this is how we think we're going to play you, bang, bang, bang. And hopefully everybody understands. I'm not saying that this has not been done with this team. Mm-hmm. I'm just saying from my experience, we all have egos when we get to this game. Right. All of us. To the last person on the bench, you got an ego. But all of us can't be the man. Yeah. You got to be able to say, okay, he's the man, but what do I do and what can I do to help us be good? And if it's vocalized to you, then you know exactly and if I'm out there doing it and now I'm not getting the result from you, now we got to sit down and have another conversation. Mm-hmm. But as long as it is told to you, this is what we expect from you, this is how we want you to play, then I feel like, again, keeping this logo. Right. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Tune in to The Anthony Sane Show, Wednesdays and Fridays at 12 p.m. weekly on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel. All right, Christian.
Yes.
You are Penny Hardaway.
I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Okay.
Today, you're going to play act, okay? Gabe, because you're a Jordan Brown apologist, you're going to be Jordan Brown.
I'm a Jordan Brown apologist. Okay.
Okay.
I'll take that.
Y'all are sitting across the room from each other.
I said, don't tweet him hate. And he's like, you're an apologist. Like, good God. But either way, continue. We're in a room together.
Why did things break down?
Jordan, we brought you in this year to be the centerpiece of our offense. You came in out of shape. Let's call it what it is. Call a spade a spade. We play fast. Told you this when we were recruiting you. We play fast. One of the fastest paces in the country. You have to be able to get up and down the floor. You have failed at that.
Oh, well, I'm leaving. So it's fine. Cool.
Tune in to On the Bluff with Christian Fowler and Gabe Kuhn every Tuesday at 12 p.m. on the Bluff City Media YouTube channel.
Welcome back. All right, so it is Thursday, and something we're trying to do on Thursdays is a new thing we call "It's a Trap." It's a trap. I don't. Are you familiar with the American
Admiral
classic-
Akbar?
Yeah, God, Daniel made a fool of himself on here. Admiral Akbar, man.
You know why I know who Admiral Akbar is? Because I'm a diehard Ole Miss Rebel fan, and they tried to pick a mascot. I don't know, 10 or 15 years ago. You remember this?
Yes,
And they did a student vote, and there was a big push among the students to have a stuffed Admiral Akbar as the on-field mascot.
I would have been an Ole Miss fan. I would have transferred to Ole Miss immediately. That's the coolest thing I've ever heard.
Yeah.
So, in honor of the Admiral and his not famous last words, he didn't die after this.
Mm-hmm.
In honor of his famous words, "It's a trap." It's a game where I throw trivia questions at you of various topics. The theme this week, in honor of the Academy Awards, is going to be Oscar movies.
Good corn. All right.
Yeah, but
I'm
you
halfway
don't have
through
to
the
guess.
first. I'm halfway
You don't
through
even
the
have
first
to guess.
June right now. Yeah. So,
Yeah, like you don't even have to guess if it's you don't have to guess the answer. You just need to
Okay.
tell me if it's a real question or if it's a trap.
okay.
All right.
Let's do it.
You ready? Okay.
Oh, yeah.
First question. Who is the only actor to win an Oscar for portraying a real life US president? You don't even-
That's real. That's real.
Yeah, that's real. You got it.
Yeah.
Which
There's been
film
too
won the
many.
Academy? Yeah. You see, you got it.
Yeah.
Which film won the? You'll get the hang of it after the. You just wait. Which film won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1977, featuring a character named Rocky Balboa?
That's true.
Yeah, it's true. All right. Which film won the Oscar for Best Picture in 1965, featuring a character that was a cat named Mr. Whiskers?
That's a trap.
It's a trap. All right. Who holds the record for most nominations in one year, receiving a nomination for Best Actor, Best Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Supporting Actress?
I'm gonna say that's Robin Williams from Miss Doubtfire.
That's a trap, dude. Although that's a good guess. Robin Williams is dope. That's a good guess.
Yeah.
So, which actress won the Oscar for Best Actress for her role as a talking cat in Meow, the musical?
It's a trap.
That's a trap. That's a trap. I don't know why they're all cat themed. Give me a second. Who won the Oscar for Best Supporting Actor for his role in The Dark Knight?
Heath Ledger.
That's
true. Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
true. It's not a trap. I don't know why that came up.
Yeah.
All right. Which film won the Academy Award for Best Picture in 1987, featuring a cast entirely composed of animals?
That's true.
No, it's a trap.
I was like,
This is
okay,
good.
when was Planet of the Apes come out? I don't know.
No, Planet of the Apes is fire. See, you've got good
Yeah.
answers at least.
Yeah.
Which was the first ever Academy Award for Best Animated Feature in 2002 that starred a green ogre named Shrek?
That's true.
That's true.
Yeah.
Who is the which animated film won Best Oscar for Original Song for the song Froggy Love from the film Leapfrog, a musical journey about a frog?
That's a trap.
That's a trap, dude. It's a trap.
Yeah.
You're right. You're right. Which actor famously declined his Oscar, stating it was too heavy to carry and he was a weak, small man?
It's a trap.
That's a trap. That's a trap. Okay. Who is the only person to win the... Which movie is the only Oscar to win Best Picture in 1993, featuring an entire cast of aliens?
It's a trap.
That's a trap. Although I would have accepted Independence Day as an answer too, because that movie's dope. Who is the only person to win an Oscar for directing the Lord of the Rings movies?
I have no idea.
It's a real question, though. It's not a trap.
It's
so
a
you
real
got it right.
question. Yeah.
It's a real question.
I have not
Would-
seen them. I don't know.
Just what? Man, we got to get you caught.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
And the last
sorry.
question. Which film won the Academy Award for Best Visual Effects in 2002, praised for its realistic portrayal of giant pet hamsters?
But that's a trap.
That's a trap. You know what?
G-Force. I don't know.
Yeah, see, G-Force, good movie though. See, you know what? I'm gonna give you a perfect score because you at least had good answers for the questions you lost. You know,
Yeah,
Daniel
I mean-
just showed off his intelligence and got them all right. That's not what this show is about.
I typically like the Oscars. I'm such a simple person when it comes to movies. Like I like good movies, but if the Academy hates a movie and says it's dumb, I'm probably gonna laugh hysterically through the whole thing. You know?
Hey, I feel you. Roadhouse is my favorite movie of all time. I feel you.
Yeah.
That's
Like-
how my tastes are described.
We were sitting in the hospital after we had our baby boy last week, and I was like, honey, I'm gonna put on a movie that you're gonna love, and I put on Dinner for Schmucks. You know, one of my favorite movies, and I just looked up the Rotten Tomatoes, and they hated it, and I was like, this movie's great. Y'all don't know what you're talking about.
I was like, that movie's trashed on Rotten Tomatoes. It's like on 2.
It's so good. Yeah.
Oh, you know what? That's a good. If you haven't seen Dinner for Schmucks, go see it. We're gonna end it on that note. Go get you a GG Build-A-Bear and watch Dinner for Schmucks and play It's a Trap. It'll be a fun evening. Thank you for hanging out with me today, Drew.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Yeah, brother. I will talk to you later, and I will see everybody tomorrow on the Daily Grind. Thank y'all.